gentlemen, to your second half of the quarterfinals action for Dreamhack. This is the final day of Dreamhack's Dota 2 Corsair Vengeance Tournament. Big thanks to Corsair for sponsoring this tournament. It wouldn't be possible without them. And of course, big thanks to Dreamhack for hosting it up. EG and AL facing off here. Now, of course, I will be rooting for EG. That's my patriotic duty as an American. Boy, this draft is flying already. And of course, Godz will be supporting AL, but we'll try to keep it as unbiased as possible for y'all. EG on the Radiant, AL on the Dire. EG with the first pick here. And AL, they went 3-0 in their group, looked very strong. They had a bit of a slip-up against Quantic. I'm not sure if you heard about it's a bit of a controversy over a power outage, and AL was leading the game, but Quantic had the rumblings of a comeback. Korok got a rampage on his Morphlane. Then the power went out, the game was rehosted, and so in the end, AL took the remake. And hey, they won the group 3-0. EG dropped a match to MTW. Ultimately, a Faceless Void, Enigma combo, and a lot of early push. It was just too much for Bulba's Storm, as well as Fear's Morphling. So here we are. What are you expecting to see from these teams?
Well, I'm expecting to see 3 games. I've got to say, it's 2 teams who are, they've had their shaky past couple of months, but put them on land, put them in a serious situation like Dreamhack, and it's one of the things where they'll turn it on, they'll make things happen. They won't be playing the way they've been playing in some of those online matches, which has been a bit sloppy. And as far as picks bans goes, it's really one of those things where teams have been holding back, I reckon, somewhat with their strategies, especially in the group stages where, especially the teams in Group C and D. They had 2 of the BYOC teams in their groups. They didn't really have to do too much to get through the group. They only had 1 tough match each. So as far as strategies go, I think we'll see some new things coming out in the playoffs itself.
Yeah, I completely agree. And where are my manners? I did sort of a half-arsed introduction, but I am LD from dotacommentaries.com, and more importantly, this is godz from godzstudios.net. If you're not familiar with him, definitely go ahead and check him out. But for now, it's going to be a Darkseer going the way of EG. Now, this is a hero that AL has loved to run in the past, but EG will be the ones to pick him up. And with that first pick, Darkseer, the Beastmaster, and the Windrunner, 2 very strong laning heroes off the bat for AL. Likely to see that off-lane Beastmaster and I'm thinking a solo mid Windrunner, but of course that depends on the rest of the draft.
Yeah, and it's one of those other things where not only do AL run their side lane solo Beastmaster, they'll often do it in the mid lane as well. I don't think they're one of the teams who have had some success within the mid lane. Windrunner can go into a side lane, can go into a dual lane. They can really do a lot of things with these picks. They're not really limited into just sending Beastmaster as a side lane solo Windrunner at mid. And it's up to EG now to see what they can do in return. It was actually EG who had a Beastmaster in the match they lost against MTW, so maybe they'll take something from MTW and look to shut down Beastmaster and really just... I think in the interview afterwards, maelk said it was because of their weak lanes, and one of the things was that MTW had an Enigma, so there we go. EG pick up the Enigma as well as an Invoker here.
Oh boy, here we go. We're going to see a bulba Invoker, the Enigma secured as well. This is some serious teamfight potential for EG. A lot of strong heroes in the mid game, perhaps not the strongest laning phase, but all these heroes pretty decent in the lanes. For AL, another defensive pickup. Beastmaster already very tanky. Plus you have the Hawk for Scouty, Windrunner with her Windrun, very difficult to lock down, and of course that Fissure. AL, they play a lot in the Oceanic region, and of course they match up against these Chinese teams, as well as a lot of the Southeast Asia teams, and they just love to run heroes like the Earthshaker, the Windrunner. Wherever it started, they're certainly following that trend, and I like this opening from AL because they've not really tipped their hand yet. They can go for a hard carry. They can go for some more mid-game team fight. It's a very versatile opening. Same for EG, to be perfectly honest. I will say that EG's heroes, they need a lot of experience, a bit more so than AL, so in that respect, they're a little more limited in what they can do with the rest of the draft.
Yeah, and one of the things actually in the group stage, AL picked ES in all 3 of their games, and they had a different player every time playing the Earthshaker. In the first game it was Musica, the second one I think was Snoopy, and the third game was Godot. I believe was the case, but they've got a very versatile team of Earthshaker players, and we'll see some carry heroes being banned out now with the 4th and 5th bans. And I have to agree, Earthshaker is it's a hero that suits AL, and it really has been one of the favorite heroes among the Southeast Asian and even the Chinese teams.
And Team Age Nightstalker, the next 2 bans. Interesting to see the Nightstalker ban. You probably don't want to deal with it, and hey, it is EG with the next pick. But that being said, it does have a lot of potential to counter those heroes. Either way, he won't be available this game. Morphline's still in the pool if either team wants to go for a hard carry. I know we saw EG try and run that against MTW. Didn't work out, but it's a hero that Fear plays very well. They have a lot of potential. Again, like I mentioned earlier, this is a very XP-dependent lineup. Yes, the Enigma can go into the jungle. Occasionally we've seen Darkseer do that as well. These heroes are versatile in terms of where they can lane, but no matter where they're laning, they need the levels, they need the farm. They're not the best contributors without them. So we'll have to see where they go from here. We're going to see at least one hard support picked up for EG, and I'm curious, will they go for the hard carry? Slardar gets the ban, as well as Syllabear. A lot of pushing heroes and sort of late game heroes that scale pretty well being banned out here.
Yeah, I really like this lone druid ban. I think that's one of those heroes that if EG had picked that up with having the Darkseer and Enigma as well, that mid-game push that could have come, it would have just been pretty much an unstoppable death ball army that EG could have created, especially you've got an Enigma who can get the mech, Darkseer can go for that pipe, and having that lone druid just to have the DPS you need to take down towers could have been very deadly. And there's your hard support. Shadow Demon is going to be picked up fourth, so we'll see Shadow Demon as one of their supports. Enigma can go as a solo, can go into that jungle. We'll see how they want to run that and whether or not, like you said, they pick up a hard carry or not. AL is going to go with what works. Going to go with a very, very familiar sight for those of you who watched some of their matches yesterday. We're going to see Lich again being picked up to give them that strong laning stage. So we've got Lich and Earthshaker as the two supports here. Lich can also help out windrunner, especially in those early levels, or beastmaster. Whoever's going to be in that side lane solo, you can deny a creep or two early on to pull that wave back. And then we'll see AL probably pick up a hard carry at the end, depending on whether or not EG go for a hard carry. If EG don't go for a hard carry, AL may do something similar where they just go for something a bit more semi-carry-ish. Could see a Queen of Pain even coming out from AL here.
Yeah, that's definitely a hero that AL has had a lot of success with in the past. I believe it's Musica who normally plays that for them. Speaking of Musica's hero, Storm is also in the pool, and that's a hero we've seen him on in the past. So we'll have to see where they go with this last pick. But, I mean, like you said, the world is really their oyster. They're not too locked in, and they're going to have the chance to react to whatever EG go with. Yeah, you get the first pick. You get that first crack at heroes like Darkseer, and hey, it was a very strong opening for EG, but ultimately it will be AL with that final opportunity to answer back. So I'm curious to see, I mean, this Lich pick, I think if you want to pick Lich, the Syllabear ban, obviously a strong ban anyway, but it makes a little bit more sense. If you want to pick a support who doesn't help you much against the push, you better go ahead and ban a very strong pushing carry, a very tanky carry who often goes for a pipe, although with the Darkseer and Enigma you might not see it, but Riki is going to be the final pick, and that's here with a lot of lockdown potential, a lot of initiation, likely to be played by Fear. So we're going to see bulba on that invoker, Fear on the Riki, probably an offlane Darkseer, jungle Enigma, and then a support Shadow Demon in the safe lane.
Yeah, it's something I think I like this Riki pick because something AL did yesterday, what they did against Quantic in that game, where Quantic they last picked the Morphling and AL just said you can have the Morphling, we're going to pick up the Anti-Mage, and had a hard carry of their own. Riki isn't really a hero; it's not really a hard carry, and you can't just say okay they've got Riki, let's go for Anti-Mage or Morphling in return. Anti-Mage or Morphling, I mean mid game, early to mid game can get completely decimated by Riki, who can apply a lot of pressure, whereas those two carries cannot. And Faceless Void. Once again by AL, and that's got some great synergy with that Lich. The Lich ulti, the Faceless Void, Chrono. I'm liking this draft, although definitely EG at the same time. With this AoE combo they've got can really decimate some of these AL heroes. I mean, you've got a Darkseer Vacuum with Invoker and Enigma. There's definitely potential for both these two teams here.
Well, this game is really going to come down to who gets the initiation off. Of course, with heroes like Riki, Enigma with the potential for Blink Dagger, Vacuum as well. A lot of ways for EG to set up these fights. But that being said, Faceless Void, Earthshaker, Windrunner, Beastmaster, this is probably the better overall initiation. Now, one point I want to make here is that Shadow Demon is a very strong hero to have when you're up against a Faceless Void. If he jumps in and Chronospheres and he doesn't catch you, whoever he's going on to, you can just disrupt them in that Chronosphere. Will help keep them alive. You can also disrupt the Faceless Void, and either way, it's going to waste 2.5 precious seconds of that Chronosphere time. So if you're up against such a strong initiating carry who can do so much damage, Shadow Demon is really your best ally. And of course that Demonic Purge, very frustrating for any carry to deal with, especially a melee carry. Looks like we're going to have a remake, so we'll introduce the players on the other side. Caster's failing with internet.
Well, we'll find out whether or not we do have a remake in a second. There's a quick pause coming out.
So, yeah, I mean, you mentioned that Chronosphere, the Lich combination, and spectators are on. Okay, well, we'll see if we have a remake. Either way, I forget what, I want to say it was one of the European tournaments towards the end of 2011 or the beginning of 2012. There was a team that ran a Faceless Void, a Lich, and an Ancient Apparition, like 3 or 4 games in a row, and they got very deep into the tournament. I completely, the name of the team is escaping me. They didn't end up winning the tournament. They were kind of a one-trick pony, but that is a very scary team fight. And even just the Lich Void, I mean, that Chronosphere, Faceless Void is a hard carry, and of course we've all played those pub games where he just bashes everyone to death. But ultimately, it's great setup for the rest of the team. Shackle Shot, the Chain Frost, all the other stuns they want to throw in. If they gets off a good chrono, that's really going to make life easy. And oh, by the way, if you didn't already know, it reveals Riki even if he's invis.
Yes, yeah, it has that. That was just sort of one of the recent changes to it, so it makes it a much better counter to heroes like Riki as well as Weaver as well, back when Weaver was a topic. But we're going to see the 5-man AL sweep to the enemy jungle here. They have got a couple heroes lagging behind. EG, similar thing, they've got a 5-man sweep towards bottom, although Enigma and Invoker not there. And EG, they don't have a very strong level 1 fight. I mean, Enigma, Invoker, neither hero can really contribute all that much, but it's going to come down to a positioning a bit here. Even Darkseer can't really do much in level 1 fight. AL have a much stronger level 1 engagement, although Lich already leveling up the sacrifice. It looks like AL are just going to back things off and sort of figure out where they want to lane this, as it will be. It looks like Windrunner going to be at the bottom lane here by Musica.
Yeah, it looks like EG were a little concerned about the potential for level 1 Roshan. Now, they do have the Frost Armor to work with, Windrunner with her Windrun. Of course, Void with his Bash and Evasion. It's not the best level 1 Roshan team. I guess there's an outside chance they could have gone for it. Either way, we're not going to see it. So I think you just introduced AL. Let me go ahead and introduce EG. Universe on that Shadow Demon is the primary hard support for EG. Fear on his standard hard carry. He'll be playing the Riki in the safe lane. And maelk actually going mid for the moment. With that Enigma, he is often the jungler for this team. Bulba solo mid on his Invoker. We'll have to see if he's just going to die creep and then head into the jungle. Kind of, I think that was late on that first deny. And either way, Demon up in the suicide lane. This is where he plays nowadays. Up against Shatan on the Beastmaster. Going to be a pretty good lane here for Demon, I have to say.
Yeah, we've got. This is a lane where Beastmaster will do pretty well as a solo hero. I mean, it will be more or less even. Both heroes should get some decent farm. Demon can also, if he wants to, put some pressure on the tower by going for that early creep skip once he gets up a soaring, or even before he gets a soaring. He can just use it to make sure he farms up the wave and forces Shatan to farm at tower, which is always going to be a bit more difficult. But Shatan, he's got the axes, he's got plenty of regen. He doesn't matter if he tanks up the creep wave a little bit here or there.
Yeah, look at maelk continue to deny creeps from this lane. He's really trying to counteract the power of this Lich, and hey, he can continue to farm the easy camp after this go. It's not going to be quite as time efficient, but he can show up here and there and really help to neutralize the effect of that Lich Void lane. Still, Bleak is going to be on his high ground a decent amount of time, and he's off to a good start, 4-2. Look at Demon, though, 6-0 already, and in fact, he's the one applying pressure to Shatan. Iron Shell, just so frustrating to deal with when you're a melee versus melee. Down in the bottom lane, we haven't talked about it much. Shadow Demon and Riki up against Earthshaker and Windrunner. I can't really think of 4 more defensive laning heroes. Riki with the Big Strike and the Cloud, the Disruption on Shadow Demon, Windrunner, and of course the Fissure. I don't think anyone's going to die unless Enigma shows up. This is looking like a pretty passive lane.
It's going to be a very passive lane, but as far as farming goes, it should be a slight edge to AL because they have got the Windrunner and Fear as a melee carry. It's going to struggle a bit to get those last hits. Will get harassed whenever it goes in, and you always could see a Fissure being dropped by Snoopy just with some right clicks. Even if they don't get a kill, just putting more pressure onto Riki, keeping him away from that creep wave will be a pretty effective way to make sure he doesn't farm early. The problem is going to be that maelk is giving EG an XP and gold boost by being in this jungle. Even if he's not ganking, he can sort of make up for that Riki not having the best time. And it looks like we are going to have a D-ward. Universe is going to use this creep ball. He's D-warded it, used both sentries, in fact, to make sure he can. And that's going to give EG even a further boost to their sort of early game XP lead in some ways, with Enigma in jungle and Shadow Demon using this neutral ball.
Yeah, we talked about it in the very early stages of the draft. With that Enigma as well as the Darkseer picked up right away, they just have so much versatility in lane. If you compare that to AL's side, I mean, they have a couple of heroes that could handle multiple lanes, but nobody can really go into the jungle and be powerful there. Look at Demon. So much pressure on the Shatan. Dropping quite low to the creeps. He's forced to throw the axes, the surge away from Demon. He's drawing tower aggro, but Shatan, this melee creep, just making his life so unpleasant. I am sure Shatan is not happy about this. Laning against Darkseer as a melee is just such a pain. But for now, he's holding his own. Most importantly, he is getting the levels. That quick level 6 will be forthcoming. Interesting to note, he's opted for 2 points to Call the Wild. Looks like they want to do ganking, not as interested in pushing. And frankly, a point enter beast might not be bad versus Demon, just to try and prevent this lane from pushing too hard. On the bottom lane, though, Snoopy gets caught out. First blood. Looks like it was a disruption into a cloud. maelk showed up for the gank as well. Nice job by him. That's the power of that jungler as well. The +1 can always show up at any time and make life difficult. A good start for EG in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if he used a smoke or not there, because there was an observer to scout out any incoming ganks, but really nice play by EG. The early movement from maelk. Sure, he's mostly a jungle hero who needs some farm and levels. He doesn't really gank all that much, but one gank can make all the difference in this bottom lane, especially Fear getting that kill. He's not farming well. With 6 creeps to Musica's 14, a kill there pretty much makes up that difference.
Oh, that was a smoke screen that I was talking about, not a smoke of deceit. So sorry for any confusion, guys.
No. I'm wondering, did
he
actually use a smoke to get there, or?
No. Fear dropped the smoke screen. I don't think he smoked. I think he just came in through the bottom path, and you can't actually be spotted by the sword if you do that. I could be wrong. But either way, he got in. So either Ael's not paying attention, or more likely scenario, he walked by the long way and was not spotted. With that being said, maelk, only 270 gold. Not really farming the best in the world, to be honest, but hey, he set up that bottom lane. That's what he's interested in. And most importantly, perhaps, EG is getting the advantage here with experience because of that pull. The Lich is helping to compensate. Bulba only level 4, Bleak level 3, and Lich level 3 in the middle lane. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. But it's a trade-off that I think EG will be okay with. So for the moment, I mean, it's very even at this point. The XP is favoring the Radiant, but it's by no means a game-breaking amount, and Musica is going to try and steal this pull camp. They do have a lot of spam to be able to take this down. Snoopy in a bit of danger here. maelk angling for a position, looking to go in for that Malefice. He's not going to find it, and they're going to back off.
Yeah, and I mean, Ael actually, despite that first blood, Ael is still ahead in gold. I mean, they've got Void free farming at mid. Top lane is pretty much dead even. Shatan with 28 creep kills, Darkseid with 27. Actually is going to get some neutrals as well on top of this, but Shatan's gone for that early bottle just to help him sustain this lane, and he's level 6 now. So if any hero comes top for a gank, I mean, a TP from ES, Lich could rotate just with a Nova. There should be enough damage to actually get a kill on this Darkseid, who will be taking a bit of damage, especially with this Soul Ring into Iron Shell, which he is using in this top lane.
Yeah, I would really like to see some bottle crowing here from Shatan. As I say that, he's sending out his magic wand as well as boots, so perhaps we will see that bottle crowing. In this situation, when you're up against Darkseer, he's just so much naturally better in the 1v1 against the melee that you really need the bottle to spam X's to help keep the creeps off your tower, not only to avoid dropping low, but equally importantly to avoid the tower taking too much damage. Looks like he's gone for 3 points to Call the Wild, very ganking-oriented build, wants to also spot out any ganks coming on his own, a defensive build, and it looks like Ael is setting up for the mid game here, which is where their team will shine. As I say that, EG's got a pretty potent mid game lineup of their own. We haven't talked much about Bulba besides his XP issues, but he's going for the Wex build, not the Exhort build we've seen a lot. They do have a Shadow Demon and a Riki, two pretty good setups if you want to go Exhort, but Bulba as well, angling to have that mid game dominance. Tornado EMP, such a powerful combination if you can get there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we will see a regen rune at bottom. Musica wants to pick it up, but right now there's a poison on him, and great play from Shadow Demon. As soon as he picks it up, he triggers that poison, preventing the regen from working on Musica. And rotation toward mid. maelk is now camping out mid, maybe anticipating an engagement. Could use Bulba as bait here, and then maelk coming out with a level 2 stun as a counter gank. That could be pretty damn scary and could be the end of either Bleak or Godot if they do overextend, especially if Bleak uses a time lock to engage, although currently he doesn't have mana and maelk will reveal himself at mid.
Can I just say, I think Bleak wants that Hand of Midas. He's holding on to 1,800 gold. Normally in this situation, you'd be going for a Rain of Health by now. Or perhaps even a quick pair of boots into tread, something that lets you be aggressive. If you're getting those items, there's no reason to hold on to the gold. So I can only assume that it's for a Hand of Midas. As I say that, Fear shows up mid, he's level 6, and this is a crucial time. No ultimate up on Bleak yet. Lich is going to eat cold stat, but frankly, not the best time to go in with the creep wave pushing. And I'm not sure if they know Fear's here, but they are playing very defensively.
Oh yeah, I mean, Lich especially now, Lich has seen that cold stat cam, and that was just, I mean, with one right click on top of it, that says to Lich, to Godot, that, well, something is up, whether Enigma's looking to engage or maybe that Riki is in fact there, and they know Riki is level 6, and as a result, Lich rotating all the way towards top, has a level 2 Nova, and this could be a potential kill here. Shatan's just couriered back his bottle, he was going for that bottle crow you mentioned, and now with a Roar, with a Nova, I think this could be a kill. As the Stout Shield will help Demon a bit. Down goes the Roar. It looks like they want Demon Axes as well. They've got a Nova. The Surge being popped. He runs up. He's got a TP. It looks like he's going to TP out. He will be okay here.
Oh, middle
lane.
They
do force him out.
Middle lane. Big dive. They didn't get a kill yet. Forced a bunch of TPs, though, so a decent trade. As long as nobody goes down. maelk in a bit of trouble. He doesn't have the boot yet. One more power shot should do the trick. Will he find the angle? No shackle to start. Power shot to follow. Nice job by Musica picking up that kill. And I have to say, that was not the correct way to try and gank a Darkseer. If you want to gank him, you need to hold that Roar a bit longer. At least try and wait, bait out the Surge, and then go for it. It was a nice play by Demon, but ultimately I think if Shatan had just been a little more patient there, they could have picked up that kill.
Yeah, I think that was a big mistake as well. I mean, Lich should have been the one engaging with a Nova. Like you say, bait out the Surge and then Roar when the Surge come in. I mean, Demon doesn't even have boots here with a Nova and just right-click after right-click. But the Quillbeast and the Nova forces him to use a Surge, and then you just use that Roar as soon as he surges. And the Roar stun duration should pretty much outlast the Surge, and you've got a pretty straightforward kill there. The problem is going to be he's got that TP. He can use the TP to maybe force an early Roar and then use the Surge to get away. I think it would have been a hard kill to get just because of that TP on Darkseid. I mean, you saw him use that to escape in the end as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess the main thing for AL, aside from the fact that that gank failed top, is equally importantly, Bleak did not go down middle. But with that gank, he's opted for the Perseverance. Interesting, I thought he might go for the Midas, but hey, Perseverance, it gives you a little bit more at this stage of the game, and more importantly, it builds into a useful item for Void. Just that Battle Fury, going to accelerate his farming quite a bit. Now, you can start the Perseverance, and normally you go back for at least a pair of boots, if not treads. Faceless Void, unlike a carry like an anti-mage, he offers you so much in teamfight. His ultimate, one of the best initiation spells in the game, so we're going to see Bleak involved fairly early here. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. I mean, when his ult's down, expect him to be farmy, but when it's up, he's got to be ready to initiate. And as I say that, Fear, he's been spending a lot of time looking for these kills, not really farming, but it's just so hard to find the openings, and here he goes back to the creep wave.
Yeah, he's actually, I mean, despite having a bad early start, I mean, he got the first blood, but he wasn't getting too many last hits. He's managed to suddenly all of a sudden catch up to heroes like Windrunner as well as Faceless Void. He's only maybe 5 to 10 CS behind each one of those, sitting on about 33 to 35 CS now. And Bleak is not going to have the best time at mid lane still. I mean, you're always going to be scared of those ganks coming in, not to mention that Tornado EMP is going to start getting thrown once bulba hits around the sort of level 8, level 9 mark. And that's, I mean, that's pesky, especially as a Faceless Void. You haven't got a very big mana pool, and any EMP coming down really just limits your ability to farm, because if you don't have mana for a Time War, you have to play so much safer.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, a lot of the games I've cast in this tournament, and you know, some of the ones I've watched over on the other stream, it seems like there's a lot of aggression early on. But in this game, we're seeing a very passive farming stage, and I mean, both of these teams, they are dominant in the mid game. So I'm not sure that anyone is really going to be having a clear advantage coming out of this. Although, as I say that, the Radiant, they're a bit ahead in terms of gold experience. Again, this goes back to the power of that Enigma as well as the Dark Seer, just giving you that versatility with laning. Enigma, maelk's picked up a smoke. He's level 6. He's got the ultimate. Maybe looking to set something up here on the mid lane. We'll have to see if he can find the opening. As I say that, Fear is also looking to set something up. Or maybe he's the one in danger. Do they have detection? Dust is popped. Fear gets roared immediately to start. Will they have enough burst to bring him down? Nice fissure blocking him in. He can blink away. Power shot as well. Fear will have trouble. Smoke screen used defensively. Short range tornado, it's only level 2 Wex. And Bulba now is the one who's got to be careful on the way out. He's going to pop the phase boot. Should be okay. A crucial pick on Riki. Riki normally the hero that's setting those things up, but while this is happening, Darkseer finally gets his due, brings down that tower. It was an admirable effort by Shatan, but in the end, just not enough. He couldn't hold that push off forever by himself.
Yeah, Darkseer is just so, in a 1v1 matchup in that top lane, it's inevitable. Especially when you're a Beastmaster, you want to go gank, you want to go help out those other lanes. You can see Beastmaster now, actually at bottom lane, finding Universe. Universe is going to TP out. There is no roar up, and he's going to get out just in time. So AL, they traded a tower of their own with that Riki kill. So I was about to say, the kill on Riki, sure, it hurts EG, but they managed to get a tower at top. But no, losing this bottom tier 1 tower. And Enigma, despite having this smoke, has not managed to find an opportunity unit, hasn't got involved yet. He's gone for the level 4 conversion, so only a level 2 stun at the moment. And AL are going to go into the jungle, find some of those conversions, just farm them up, as they have got plenty of arcane, well, just the one arcane boots on Shatan. We'll probably see another one coming soon on Snoopy.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring up arcane boots, because whenever you're up against an EMP tornado invoker, you need multiple pairs of arcane boots in order to make sure that everyone has mana. Now the damage, of course, that's still going to affect you, but without those arcane boots, a lot of these heroes have very low base mana pools. Earthshaker, Faceless Void, Beastmaster, all of these heroes, a single good EMP can render them useless in a team fight, and none of these heroes are effective without mana. In fact, pretty much nobody's Dota is, but especially not these. Nice black hole on 2. Do they have the burst to bring these heroes down is the question. Musica dropping low, but it looks like there's going to be a turnaround here. Universe will be the first to drop, immediately follows the Windrunner. Bulba's joined the fight, and Shatan on the way out. Nice fissure, helping to keep Beastmaster alive for the moment. Will he be able to TP out? He's looking for it. No vacuum yet. Vacuum. Perfect timing by Demon. And Shatan will go down as well. Meanwhile, Lich getting picked off. A bit of an overextension there. 3 for 1. Not the trade that AO was hoping for.
Oh yeah, I mean, they got to kill on the Shadow Demon. That's just a support Shadow Demon. So EG come out well on top there. The downside is this Faceless Void, of course, is free farming away at top lane. He's getting very close to that Battle Fury. But still, we're 13 minutes in. I mean, you often see those, when you see an anti-mage going straight naked Battle Fury, you're getting it around the 12-13 minute mark. So he's not had complete and utter free farm at mid lane, has had to contest with that Invoker. And if EG can get some towers following up those couple of kills, it looks like this mid tower is already deniable. Snoopy's going to drop the fissure with a power shot to try to defend it, but this could be a tower. The wall as well being used even. A very early point in wall from Demon. Well, actually, no, he's level 11. It's not really that early. Holy crap, Demon is leveling fast. And EG a tower going their way.
That's Darkseer for you, man. If you don't put someone like Klakes or Invoker a 1v1 against him, someone who's just dominant in that landing phase against a melee hero, he's gonna run rampant. He didn't get ganked, and we're seeing it pay off now here for EG. So AL, they are on the back foot, but we haven't really seen Faceless Void participate in any fights, and like you said, he is free farming. That being said, EG has apparently identified this fear up top, looking to initiate on Bleak. Are we going to see it? Not the best cloud, to be honest, but will it be enough to bring out Bleak? Nice vacuum back into the cloud. Good teamwork here. The Bleak away, and it looks like Bleak should be able to escape. He gets out, a missed opportunity, and meanwhile, the push commences mid.
And they've done something, I think it's risky, but could be really smart. Shatan has picked up a gem. He just went through the bottom river as well as through the neutrals, took out one of the observer wards, EG, and just going to deny EG a vision, not to mention prevent Riki from getting too involved in these fights with this gem. He needs to be careful not to get picked off anytime soon. He needs to get the full gold's worth, but I mean, right now, this gem could be a big turning item and also really help out the Void. I mean, get some more space to farm and just apply some additional pressure, deny EG of much-needed vision. Are they going to... It looks like they're not going to scout this observer on the high ground. Nope, they've got it. They're just going to de-ward up the whole map, deny EG of vision. As a result, it's so much easier for Bleak to farm when they've got the map control.
What a contrast to the series I cast yesterday between, who was it, Quantic and MTW, where they had a Beastmaster, and 50 minutes in, no gem, no Necro 3, AL 15 minutes into this game, already looking to seize control of the map. They did knock down the tier 1 mid and bottom, and the second component of that strategy is not only about getting your own vision, it's about denying theirs. And of course, with the Beastmaster Hawk, they have a built-in free ward for the whole team to work with. Great job by them. I'm really glad you pointed out. But that being said, I mean, this is EG. I'm interested to note that Fear has a Vanguard. He's not going for that quick diffusal blade. There's a lot of burst damage, a lot of lockdown on AL, so he wants to tank up. But if you go for an early Vanguard, you need to get some ganks going. You got to get some kills going your way, because otherwise, when that mid game hits, Void will out-farm you. He's already a faster farmer, or at least a comparable farmer in general. With Battle Fury, he's definitely going to win the farm war. EG, 5 heroes grouped at bottom. They want to make something happen. Pushing against a lineup like AL's, it is very difficult. That being said, EG has some good team fight their way, but a good Chronosphere, Fissure, Shackle shot, that can completely turn the tides of the fight that we might be seeing right now. As I say that,
yeah, and they don't even have to bring Void to these fights. Void can always be the last one at TP and maximize his efficiency with farm. And EG, I mean, they've got a great team fight. Especially when they get this mech and pipe up. The mech is about 400 gold on Enigma. The pipe is going to be very soon up on Demon. So as soon as they get mech and pipe, that sort of opens up a window of opportunity for EG. They've got sort of a 5-10 minute opening where they're just so strong in the team fights and can just sort of be very aggressive. And there's just not much risk of going down. Although ultimately, if they get caught in a Chronosphere, there'll be plenty of damage with Windrunner, Lich, and ES to back it up. So they can't group up, but as long as they're being aggressive without grouping up too much, I think with the mech and pipe, they can afford to make some big plays happen.
Yeah, this is really the power of that AL lineup. I mean, the Void, he can join the fight late because his ultimate is such a strong lockdown ability for a team fight. If you show up late on a hero like Anti-Mage, you can't necessarily turn the tides of the fight unless you're really far ahead in terms of items. You don't have any way to instantly disable a team, but Void does, so even if he shows up late, that could be an instant turnaround. As a result, Bleak going to be happily farming. EG elect to back off, and you mentioned the timing with the pipe and the mech, and I completely agree. That is going to be an opening for them. It's not all magical damage coming from AL. Yes, Lich Ult, very powerful. Earthshaker, Windrunner, Beastmaster, they all have nukes, but Inner Beast on that Beastmaster, only 1 point so far. It's going to level up soon, as well as the damage from Bleak. That's a lot to work with. EG, was that a smoke gank? I didn't actually catch it, but either way, failed opportunity there to kill off the Void.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And it looks like they're going to go for a dive here. Bleak, actually no, Demon just backstabbing the creeps for the moment. Fear in position. Where's that gem when you need it? It's down bottom lane. Are they actually going to make it go? Nice position by Bleak, staying very far back. Bit of a tower trade here. And I have to say that bottom tier 2 is a... Well, which one's going to drop first? I guess that's the question. Very close.
Bleak needs to be careful. He could get picked off. He's going to go in with the Chrono. Goes on Maelk. The TP support's there. Defensive disruption goes on Void, and here comes Shatan. He gets smoked immediately. Vacuum into a black hole. 2 heroes are down. AL making a bit of a mistake there. That should not have been an attempt at defense there. Bleak, not quite the positioning he wanted on that Chrono, and AL didn't even trade for the bottom tier 2 tower. Bulba got back and defended that, so a big win for EG.
Yeah, you really saw the power of Shadow Demon when you're up against Faceless Void. If you don't catch him in the Chrono, he's just going to disrupt that here. On top of that, this Void isn't hitting that hard yet. Sure, he's got a Battle Fury, no Treads, no Yasha, no BKB, no additional damage items to work with, no Mask Commanders for the attack speed. So he doesn't have enough burst by himself, and I'm not sure if there's miscommunication on AL's side, if they thought they could actually take that fight late. Oh, Shackle onto Bulba, pretty much max range, but not going to be any follow-up. And with Wex Invoker, he is very survivable because of that move speed. Look at him now. Say around 410, and when he pops the phase boots, it's a lot more. Actually, that was with the phase boots. It's only going to get more as the Wex levels up, and he's getting close to max Wex. That's when Invoker gets really dangerous, because his initiation range is like 2 screens long. I believe it's 3,000 range on the Tornado, 3,200.
I don't know the numbers on it, but it is just absolutely ridiculous. And as you said, Invoker just so hard to lock down because of all that additional movement speed. So, I mean, at the moment, that was not a fight they wanted to pick. They should have just gone for the trade there. But Bleak still looking pretty farmed. He's up to 85 creep kills, looking to get his next big item up soon. He's got the battle free, probably just going to go for some treads and then into some sort of item which will give him a bit more survivability. EG grouped up in their own neutrals for the moment, just looking to maximize their farm, get the just not really waste time. I mean, they've got heroes farming in different locations, not really looking for a gank when there's no ganks to be had. And as a result, we see the mech up on Enigma, the pipe up on Darkseer, and I think EG could just look to take down these last couple of tier 2 towers, maybe even try and put enough pressure on that they can take Roshan themselves despite being on the Radiant side. Get that on Riki, and Riki, with the Diffusal Blade coming soon, will be a very potent carry for EG.
Oh, you mentioned that Roshan, and of course that, you know, the Dire, not only do they have that Dire advantage to work with, but if you get grouped up in that pit, you're in for a world of trouble. The Hawk has got everything out. Speaking of initiation, Musica is going to eat a Tornado EMP. How far will they dive him? Pipe is popped even. Kind of an early pipe, to be honest. They really wanted to go in, but Windrunner just too hard to chase down. Musica will survive. Shackle onto Fear. Only a single here, Shackle. While the sapping, Bleak is split pushing the top lane. But it's the bottom lane that will fall first. Another tower claimed by EG. Only 2 outer towers remain. Of course, these are the 2 most crucial for the Dire. These tier 2 towers in the bottom middle lanes. If they lose those, the map control that they wanted to get with that gem is going to be very hard to hold on to.
Yeah, and EG, they feel they've got the advantage now, but at the same time, they're not in a massive rush. I mean, you see Demon gets back just to make sure Bleak doesn't get a free tier 1 tower. EG just going to focus on pushing out those lanes, getting some map control up themselves, because they've got that gem now. That was probably the biggest loss for AL at that top fight, was they also lost the gem. So Gem is on Universe. He's dewarding the map up. They've got, AL have one ward up near the Roshan pit, but all in all, AL are playing very, very blind at the moment, very defensive. They've got the spam to defend those pushes partially, but can they hold and look? Snoopy, no arcane boots, straight blink. He's now got that at 21 minutes in.
This is a bold move. If that EMP hits him, if it's even dropped in the area that he wants to blink in, and the timing's not perfect, he's not going to be able to use any of these spells. Also, while it is an Earthshaker with a blink, you have to keep in mind he's only level 8. His Echo Slam, especially against a pipe mech already picked up, probably not going to be a tide-changing ultimate. Generally, at this stage of the game, Earthshaker is going to serve his team better by dropping fissures in the backlines. Of course, blink has potential, but this is not a game-breaking item in and of itself. He really does need those arcane boots if he wants to guarantee any sort of initiation. Also, he needs to get towards level 11. And for the moment, there's not a lot of places for him to farm. It goes back to those early towers being knocked down. EG are the ones with all the vision right now, and you mentioned the dewarding. There's a single ward near the Roshan pit, but in terms of their own jungle, it's EG that has control of that.
Oh yeah, that ward on the high ground in the Dire jungle is I mean, one of the best ward spots in the game, and it's one of those things which AL right now, it doesn't look like they quite know it's there. Beastmaster's picked up a second gem, in fact. That's how desperately they want to get this map control back and shut down this Riki. I mean, I have to agree that they need that badly. At the same time, Shatan needs to start tanking up a bit. It looks like he's going to go for a Necrobook here, not go for that Vanguard or a Pipe, but still, either way, they need the map control. They need to have vision of the Riki, especially Riki. He's not going to have a BKB anytime soon. He will have that Diffusal Blade. It looks like he just needs the recipe. So as long as they can see him, they can kill him with all their spam, with all their nukes. So I think this is a good decision from Shatan, but at the same time, they can't afford to give up another gem and to pick another fight like they did at the top lane before.
Yeah, let's not forget that when you give up a gem, it's not 700 gold, it's 1400, because it's 700 gold your opponents don't have to spend. It's a 1400 gold swing. If you give up another one, that's 2800 gold swing going the enemy way. Now, they don't really need 2 gems to work with, but hey, it's a nice thing to have. Of course, the other point about the gem that we haven't really made is it does give you a reliable way to see that Riki, and he is the best initiator for EG at this point of the game. The Cloud just so strong. I'm curious, what will Bleak go for next? It's going to be a BKB rush. Pretty strong choice. The Demonic Purge will go through it. The Black Hole will go through it. But what he's really worried about is that Cloud and the Cold Snap locking him in place in these team fights.
Yep, and there we go. Shatan has now crewed out the gem. EG, though, just above him. If they can find a pick off here, this could be bad. It's going to go on Bleak. He's got the backup, though. They go in. Tornado not going to land. EG, they've already used Tornado. They've already missed it. Bleak Can he pop a chrono here? ES, Blink, ulti. Bleak is just going to leap his way out. They're going to go on Fear. In fact, Fear gets locked down. Snoopy going to pay the price.
Oh boy.
And there's your chrono. Lich ulti. What a combo. The Lich ulti bounces away, but they've got maelk at least. No, the mech gets popped just in time. Lich ulti chases him. Darkseid wall goes off. What a massive team fight. Bleak taking so much damage. The mech from Musica just keeping him alive. And AL, it looks like they've got just a trade that's going to go their way. Shatan still taking a lot of damage, and Bleak in a bit of trouble. Gonna time walk away from the Roshan pit. Looks like they just get out here, and they're going on the aggressive here with Musica, Shatan, and Godot somewhat healed up.
Wow, what a perfect initiation there by AL. And for EG, it was Fear that got caught out. That second gem as well as the Sentry Ward. Ultimately, he just got caught out position, shackle shot. I mean, how many games do we cast with windrunner where there's not a shackle shot that absolutely turns the tide of the fights? I can't really remember the last time I've seen one. That ability, just such a strong lockdown presence. And Riki, no diffusal blade on him, no BKB. Items you often see in this situation. Now, you're up against the Chronosphere, you're up against the Roar. It wouldn't help you against those, but it would have, the BKB would very much help you against that shackle shot. It was a great initiation, or counter-initiation by the Earthshaker, and, you know, I wasn't sure the Echo Slam would do too much, but what it did is it kept the Void long enough that he's able to survive. It prevented EG from getting to the Riki side to aid him, and ultimately, without that Riki, they just don't have enough damage to burst anyone down.
Yeah, I have to really agree and reiterate everything. The ES Ultimate, it didn't do damage, but without that ES Ultimate going in there, that would have been a completely different fight. Probably not one going AL's way. It just really... And it also grouped up all those heroes, because they then turned their focus onto the ES, allowing Void... Void, first of all, he time walked out to focus down the Riki, and then he came back with a perfect three-man chrono because of the ES taking up all that focus fire. They thought the Void was sort of out of the picture, but he just walked right back in, especially once Riki was dead. Riki did absolutely nothing. And now AL, they've got that gem back. It's no longer in the hands of Shadow Demon. They can get complete map control. They may even go for Roshan soon, especially if they can push out these lanes a bit. They probably want to get the T1 top tower, although it's not really needed because it is so far away from the Roshan pit. They're more worried about pushing out the middle and bottom two lanes.
Yeah, two other points I want to make about that fight, as it was the biggest engagement we've seen in this game. There was no black hole in that fight, and that Chain Frost, it really doesn't like maelk very much. It bounced him, I want to say, 3 or 4 times in that fight, and as a result, he could do nothing but run. Again, he also got trapped in Chronosphere. And that's something he's going to have to be very worried about all game, is the fact that Chronosphere can cancel Black Hole, and if maelk eats the Chrono to start, it's very unlikely he's going to be able to turn around and drop a Black Hole after that, just because AL has so many follow-ups done. So positioning for him will be the key to EG's success in future fights. For now, he's gone for the pure tank kind of supporty build. This is the safer way to play Enigma, because you're guaranteed to offer something to your team, even if you don't get off a big Black Hole. But ultimately, if they want to take a big team fight, and the Riki's getting caught out like that, maelk is the one who can save the day. And for now, he hasn't been able to do it. I really like the fact you mentioned the map control, because, I mean, it's not just the fact that they get the vision back up. Look at the lanes now. Push deep into the Radiant territory, or at least more even than they were before. And that's something that's going to make any sort of Roshan attempt by EG a lot harder. As I say that,
and
they're going for another gang.
EG smoked up. They actually, they thought AL was Roshan, which is why they used this smoke gank. I mean, they know AL have the map control and go for Roshan, so they're going to go for a smoke. They're actually going to try and take Roshan themselves. It looks like there's nothing to get any Eidolons with, so they haven't got massive DPS, but Alacrity on Fear, Bulba in the Roshan pit, and it looks like there's nothing to scout out. Musica is there. I don't think we're going to see a power shot going down, and this should be a straightforward Roshan for EG. And oh no, there we go. Power shot does see. Can they get in time? EG are actually backing off. They don't know where AL are. They could have probably finished off before AL got there, but they are just too damn scared. That power shot scared them off. The rest of AL were in fog, so that's the beauty of map control. If EG knew that AL was only windrunner, they probably would have finished off Roshan there.
Oh,
and
yeah,
now AL can just go in and steal this.
I completely agree. They totally had that Roshan if they wanted it. Of course, being in that pit, they played MTW. They were on the opposite side, but fights around the Roshan pit against the Faceless Void, so very dangerous. I mean, yeah, EG's got a lot of team fight, but like you said, they're playing blind, and so if you're the ones playing blind, you have to be careful. As I say that, big jump in a blink, he's getting locked down, 4 staff away, not enough, great initiation, and now AL in headlong retreat. Tornado catches 2, what a tornado from Bulba, but actually it's not going to be enough. Musica just a bit too fast. The buyback right away from Bleak, shackle shot on 2 heroes, defensive disruption. It looks like it won't amount to anything, but, I mean, they force the buyback, they get a pick on Bleak. He was very close to his BKB, an important time to get that pick off.
Oh yeah, and that EG, they used a second smoke just for that. As soon as they failed the first Roshan and had to back off, they used another smoke, knowing that AL, once again having the map control, could just go in and take an uncontested Roshan. So they forced a fight, took out Bleak at mid, and I mean, Musica was so close to saving with that 4 stuff. He'd popped a mech as well, could have seen Void survive that one, but either way, EG, Once again, staying narrowly ahead. I mean, the gold graph, it looks like they're up by close to 5k gold, so a sizable lead, but you've got to feel that AL, with this massive team fight, they've still got so many options, and the gold graph, it's a bit misleading. You've got to, I mean, I still feel this game is pretty even here.
Yeah, it is very even. I mean, if we take a look at the gold graph, sitting around 3,000, and, you know, at this stage of the game, that's pretty meaningless. In terms of the percentages, maybe 5%, 10%, not a big deal whatsoever. AL, they're feeling confident. They're going to go for Roshan, want that Void buyback to amount for something. But EG are not going to give this away for free. Definitely looking to initiate here if AL actually commit to this. Void doesn't have lifesteal, so he may not be able to solo Roshan. And it looks like EG, they're pushing in the middle lane, and if you get this middle lane pushed in, you're fighting without too much vision. EMP completely wiping Musica's mana. One set of Arcane Boots are popped, but that's all they have for the moment. And they may be forced to back off. Looks like they are.
And yeah, it really, and right now everything is just hovering around this Roshan pit. Both teams recognizing, and not just the Aegis, but the gold as well. It's like an additional tower that you can in fact get. And Bleak's still no BKB up. He's got, I mean, he would have had it if not for that buyback. He's got the Mithril Hammer and the Ogre Axe. He just needs the recipe. 800 gold away, and EG can see that. And it looks like they just want to force the action now before there's a BKB up on this Faceless Void. Even without a Blink Dagger on maelk, they're just so confident in their team fight, especially with that Tornado EMP. They can just chip away at the mana. And like you said, only one Arcane Boot on Shatan. That's hurting them. No Arcane Boots on this ES. And it's all because of that first sudden Blink Dagger, which is, I mean, it had one great team fight, but right now, not having Arcane Boots is somewhat punishing them.
I mean, the way this is sort of shaping up, it seems like both teams are content to turtle. Nobody wants to make the first move, make a mistake. As I say that, Demon thinks about going in. I mean, who do we favor in this situation? I feel like the Void, because he's got the Battle Fury and he can always TP to that mid tower, which is very close to Roshan. This favors AL just a touch. Because they have that better Roshan access with the Dire advantage, and Void can show up late and still contribute. As long as AL don't get picked off, they're going to pull a bit ahead in terms of gold. We'll have to see if EG start pushing a little more aggressively now, as the Void has rotated top.
Yep, and we'll see. I like this. I think Void needs to just be top, getting that free farm, while the other four heroes, they can hold this mid-tier 2 tower, and they can also pressure and chip away at EG if EG try to go for that Roshan. The big worry is if they get caught. They always want Void to sort of be the one in the front lines engaging in. Demon's just going to try to surge himself up, look for any sort of an opening here, as EG just still at this mid lane. Shackle not going to land on Fear. Even if it lands, I don't think we're going to see an engagement. They're just looking to chip away at him. Just throw the power shots, throw the fishes whenever possible. Avoid any big team fight clash AL. They've got the Void farming away. He's now got a BKB, but still, even with this BKB, I think they just prefer to avoid any clash, especially if Void can get this T1 tower at top. That's going to give them a nice boost to their gold. And EG, once again, into the Roshan pit. But this Hawk, right above, going to scout them out. AL know what's going on here. This is bad for EG. They need to make something happen. They can't just sit around, because AL, they see everything that's happening, everything that's going on. They've got the Faceless Void free farming away.
Oh, vacuum in and purge on the music. A 4-step out of the cloud. Cloud drop, EMP drop. And that's the defensive capability of this AL lineup, especially with the 4-staff up on the Windrunner. The perfect item to deal with the Riki. Not only can you save yourself, if your allies ever get into trouble, you can easily 4-staff them away. Another item I would like to see some of these supports look to pick up is the Ghost Scepter, particularly the Lich and the ES. If they're not going to farm a 4-staff, Ghost Scepter would be the next best thing, as it will really prevent that Riki from focusing on you, and it wastes a lot of his precious time. Speaking of that Riki, no item progression since this Diffusal Blade pickup. It's a level 1 Diffusal Blade and a Vanguard, and like you said, the Void continues to farm. AL now, they've gotten some good wards up, and EG, again, playing in the blind. Are they going to go for Roshan? They're thinking about it, they're dancing around it, but so far, no commitment. Bulba Tornado scouting things out. This elaborate dance, it will have the payoff, because sooner or later, someone's going to get out of position, someone's going to go for it. And then the other team's going to jump in and try to punish
This
it.
is like watching Chinese Dota, man. It's
yeah.
Like you say, just a dance, and it's always going to hover around the Roshan pit. It's the same with Chinese Dota. It's always about Roshan. Roshan is sort of a big key changing point. Having that Aegis just allows you to be so much more aggressive, and you can just structure your pushes, your team fights, your aggression, your smoke gangs around having Aegis. AL right now getting the better off from this trade because of the fact they've got the Beastmaster, the vision from that, not to mention Bleak free farming away, while Riki is the one sort of leading these games and sort of trying to get those pickoffs. He's picked up an Ogre Axe, but right now, EG can't really do all that much until they get the BKB on him. They can't afford to be too aggressive.
Another smoke by EG. I think it was just out of range of this ward, I want to say. They're painting mid. They want to go on Musica. We saw how hard he was to gank last time. Will they have better luck this time? EMP into vacuum, 4-step away, and I'm not sure they can get this kill. Fissure only have one hero. Cloud Tornado, they do get the kill, and down goes the Windrunner. That's a big pickoff. She's getting pretty close to, I thought she had an ultimate orb. No, okay, I guess not. But she's got the money for buyback if they need it. expect to see EG force that buyback by going into the Roshan pit. With the Alacrity up on Fear, this Roshan will drop quite quickly. It is very dangerous, and the Hawk scouting everything out. There will be no surprises here for EG. They'll know exactly what they're doing.
AL can maybe stop this without even a buyback. They've got the fissure from the high ground, as long as they don't get picked off, of course. That's going to be a bit of a worry here. I mean, Vacuum could catch them down. Fear is invis, of course, as well. They don't want to get caught out. And EG, they're worried. Even with Windrunner dead, they don't want to go in. Void has now come into the fray. He's just going to farm out some Ancients, and once again, EG get a pick off, AL get the map control, and AL out farming EG, using their time more efficiently. EG they've been grouped up as 5 for like the last 20 minutes here. And I mean, they get a pick off here or there, they maybe get a tower here or there, but I've got to feel that AL are just sort of outmaneuvering them, at least for the moment. Well, not so much outmaneuvering them, they're just playing so well that EG cannot find an opening.
Yeah, you mentioned Chinese Dota, and this is really what you see a lot from the top Chinese teams. If they're evenly matched, it's all about positioning and initiation. And of course, vision is a big part of getting the advantage there. And right now, that vision advantage is for AL, the positioning advantage on their side as well, especially because they have that the dire side to work with, a bit better of access into the Roshan pit. This shackle on the demon. They're not going to make a go, but Musica just. The point I wanted to make as you were talking, I feel like AL are gaining an advantage simply through mind games. Like, they're in EG's head right now. EG is very afraid of that initiation. Without firing a shot, AL are just pulling away. I took a look at the gold graph, and it's dead even. It's starting to dip towards the dire. I think it's been 10 minutes now that EG have been trying to push mid. Surge in onto Demon. They pop the pipe. I think EG has had enough. They're going to make a go, at least on the tier 2. Glyph is available. Tornado on 2 heroes. EMP as well. They're not actually going to dive in. They don't have any... I guess they just want the tower, and that will slow down any sort of Roshan maneuvering for AL, but not completely. And meanwhile, Void continuing to farm. Last hit up by Riki. How much gold does Fear have now? He's still a bit away from his BKB. Bleak continues to push 3,000 gold in the bank. He's getting dangerously close to a butterfly.
And, I mean, that was, like you said, EG just got, they were just fed up. They said, okay, we've had enough. We may not be able to get a big team fight with this. I mean, this is how it helps them. It gives them, like, a bit more map to use. They've got some slight more map control over AL now. They've also got a bit of boost to their gold. They're going to have Fear gain the BKB a bit soon, but ultimately that didn't give them a massive boost. AL still have the better map control, still have Void farming away. Void getting very close to what looks to be a butterfly here, and he's going to take over this top lane free farm. Musica not buying back was a big crucial thing as well, because that means Musica is still sitting on 2.6k gold. If AL lose a fight, we'll see some buybacks coming out, not to mention we can see some new big items coming up soon. Shatan, Necrobook 1, 1300 gold. He's getting close to the Necro 3, and we'll see what Musica wants to go for as well. Probably just head for a sheep stick, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Sheep, I think that's going to be the answer to this EG lineup. They don't have any BKBs right now. Even the Enigma doesn't have one. As I say that, Blink Dagger's his item of choice. Going to give you a little bit more initiation to work with. Now, I'm not sure if you caught that mouse game in the West qualifiers where they had, I think it was 1437 playing the Darkseer. He went for a Blink Dagger, a Darkseer, and I actually feel like in this situation, that would have helped EG out quite a bit. I mean, it was 10 minutes where they just couldn't get a jump. Blink into Vacuum, you followed up with EMP Tornado, and by then the Riki's on top of you, laying down the cloud. Black Hole maybe even in position. That was a very unorthodox item pickup for Darkseer, but I feel like that might have been the way to go. Instead, Demons opted for an Aghanim. Still a great choice, but perhaps not as bold of an item pickup as they would have liked. It's not like they're out of the game yet, but they did allow AL a lot of time to get up those items, and now AL is feeling a lot more confident. They're going to be pushing top, going for this tier 2.
Oh yeah, this is still anyone's game. One of the things about EG's lineup is they've got the potential to just have a massive team fight. Any lineup with a Darkseer, for one, you can total out, make the game go for a long time because of that wall, especially with an Aghanim Scepter. If you get an illusion of that Void in that ulti, it's going to do additional damage now because of that Aghanim Scepter. And with this Vacuum, with the EMP Tornado Invoker, not to mention he's going to have so many more spells now as he's starting to get pretty high level. He's a bit under-leveled, I mean, for this point in the game, I've got to say, we're approaching late game, he's only level 14. But still, Invoker is one of those late game heroes you just do not want to mess with because of his great toolbox.
Bleak is going high ground, he's going to force the TPs back, time walk out. And he's going to go for the TP. Will Malefice him? He gets the Malefice. This could be a disastrous. The BKB is available. Are we going to see a black hole? Bleak has not popped the BKB. He pops it. There's your black hole. Bleak looks like he... Oh, so many backtracks. It might be enough to get away. Time walk onto the opposite hill. Demonic Birds. They want this kill so bad. And no TP on Bleak now. Of course, the Chronosphere drop. Not sure that was the best choice. Vacuumed out of the Chronosphere, and he goes down. A lot of spells used, but they got the kill. They forced the buyback, and equally important, they forced a 10-second BKB charge out of Bleak.
Oh yeah, that was a big pick off. He was close seeing that TP out. He should just kept walking, in fact, because Enigma coming in from the side there. Anyone could have been coming in from that side there. He got picked off, but this buyback, they go right for Roshan, and EG at the moment have not reacted to this. I think they're just expecting the Void to buy back just to help defend, but now EG are going to probably scout this out, or at least go for Roshan themselves. Bulba could lead with the Tornado here. Are they? Nope, they're going to see, well, AL actually going to back off first. As the Cool Beast is going to scout things out. EG are just marching down the middle lane, especially with the Void Chrono on cooldown. The problem is going to be, same goes for the Black Hole. Even with the Blink Dagger on maelk, he's got no Black Hole for a good 2 minutes.
Oh, nice Tornado there, up onto the high ground. EMP hits him to the vacuum, the wall. AO just melting your BKB gets popped on Fear. Nice mechanism. Echo Slam on 2 heroes. Locking Bulba in place. They get a huge pick on that Invoker. Such a strong team fight here, but it's not done just yet. Looks like someone TP'd away for AO, barely surviving. That was the Beastmaster. Universe in headlong retreat. He will likely go down. He eats the Soul, or Soul Catcher is dropped on a Bleak. Will it be enough? Right now it's 4-4, and it looks like EG, they're not done just yet. They want to go for Bleak. He's got the BKB, he pops it. He's going to go on Demon. No, actually, Demon is just sort of body blocking him here, half-assedly in the end. Void's going to time walk out. They might even get Snoopy, and Snoopy has 2150. If he goes down, he can buy back. It looks like a good fight for EG, a 2-for-1. They did drop a Darkseer Wall, pretty expensive. Are they done yet? Tornado, EMP on the Bleak. He's out of mana, Cold Snap, but just so damn tanky with that backtrack and the TPN for Beastmaster. Looks like that'll put an end to the fight. They did force another buyback.
No, maybe not. Mid lane, Snoopy, he buys back all 4 stuff, actually saving him. Musica spot on, and what a shackle shot. Fear and maelk together. Axes and the power shot going to go through. Force a mech out. Not a huge amount of damage, no follow-up. And Bleak has actually picked up a Demon Edge. Not going to see Butterfly on him. He will be going for what I imagine will be an MKB, although it could be a crit here, going for the Daedalus. But either way, he's not going to have massive attack speed at the moment.
Yeah, I really feel like the Butterfly is the better choice. There's a lot of physical damage coming out from the Riki, as well as that Invoker. His right clicks hit pretty hard. Even when you go for Wex and you throw an Alacrity on top of that, that's a lot of auto attack damage, not to mention. I mean, I guess your Disruption Illusions get the Butterfly evasion, but still, I'm a little surprised he's made this choice. Maybe he's anticipating a Butterfly at some point. Whatever the case is, MKB or Daedal is still going to be a strong pickup on Void. I have to say, if Bleak had not been driven back to the fountain in that fight, that could have been disastrous for EG, because they've got 2 heroes shackled in the shadow of the enemy tower, and a Chronosphere on top of that would have easily been 2-3 kills. Now they're going to go for Roshan. EG not in the best position. Universe going to scout out with Shadow Poison. I'm not sure they'll be here in time, though. Roshan's dropping low. Blink in from Snoopy. Fisher, but he might get caught out. Chain Frost bouncing through. BKB gets popped on Fear. Fear gets roared in his own cloud. Godot in the thick of things. In comes Bleak. Chronosphere on 2. Cleaving through these heroes so quickly. Bulba dropping low. Bulba goes down. That's a big hero for EG to lose in this fight, and they're not done yet. Fear unable to get the additional picks. And in fact, Void, he's not done yet. Gonna get these creeps. I thought he was gonna go on Fear, but no vision for him.
And Bulba, that last fight, actually bought back, so he didn't have buyback here. Ooh, Godot, in a bit of trouble here. No Shackle going to land here, and without the Beastmaster, he's the one with the gem. He was actually back in the base here, and they're not going to be able to go re-engage here, and they've got to be careful because there is a black hole up on maelk, and with a vacuum, we can see EG, even in a 3v4 situation, turning things around as Shackle shot. Demon and maelk locked together. Is there a follow-up? AL need to be careful. They can't over-engage here, especially with this black hole up. We are going to see the smoke going down. There's the vacuum black hole. Hit all 5. That's what EG were looking for, and they are going to absolutely clean up. Fisher comes a bit late now. Bleak taking a huge amount of damage. He's going to go down. He's got the Age or so, and that's the only saving grace for AL. What a team fight from EG, even with only 3 heroes.
Oh, even if Bleak gets away, I'm not sure they can defend without. Oh, he's not going to get away. Demonic Purge. Vacuum back in. Oh, man, what a wombo combo from EG. And now the question is, who has that buyback? Windrunner, it is available for her. Not available for that Void. Or actually, Beastmaster. He's got it. They might just be able to stop this push. It's going to be pretty difficult, though, because the carry is up for EG. Buyback comes out for Beastmaster. godz disconnects in the middle of it. EG going for the high ground. Mech gets popped. Looks like his internet crashed. Hopefully we'll have him back soon. EG continue to go for the high ground at the moment, and is he calling me back?
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower.
Oh, EG continue to go for the high ground here. They're working on the tower. Big Echo Slam from Snoopy on 4, but isn't enough. Doesn't look like it for the moment. BKB pops on Fear. He's doing the damage. Snoopy drops. Godot drops as well. Bulba has joined the party, and now with 5 on 2 heroes, it looks like EG will get at least one set of racks. The Necro 3, though, it's proven a bit of an issue here. And these supports, they're getting pretty low. Actually, they're going to be okay for the moment. It's only, is that a Necro 3? No, it's only a Necro 1. He was forced to buy back, so he doesn't have the upgraded one. Nice dodge with the shackle there. It's taking EG a very long time to bring down this Rex, and Void about to come back up, but he's not here just yet. One set of Rex are going to go down. They already got the melee, the range, not the most important thing in the world. And EG, I mean, God said it himself, there's always the potential for that massive wombo combo, and without the Faceless Void ult, without the BKB, I have to say that was a big mistake by AL. They have to play more conservatively. They're very reliant on the Void ultimate to win these fights, and that's why when you pick Void and you're playing against him, or when a Void is picked and you're playing against him, if you could bait out that ultimate, he's just not the same hero. You know, I said how strong the ult is for initiating, but unlike an anti-mage, unlike a Morphling, Void relies on a long cooldown ultimate to really contribute in these team fights. Those heroes don't, and that's one of the reasons why this carry is not picked too often. That being said, AL, they have a very strong late game, especially with the Inner Beast buffing out Bleak. They can still turn this around, and Bleak has an MKB now, and he's not too far away from a butterfly. If he can get up 2 more big items before the next fight, AL could very easily take this. Still trying to get godz back here. I guess his internet's down. He'll call me back when he's available. But after a huge engagement, let's take a look at the gold graph, and that's the XP graph. Heavily in favor of the Radiant. Not as meaningful at this stage of the game. Big, actually not too big of a gold lead. This is still a very close game. 1 melee Rex down. When you have such a strong turtling lineup, it's not enough. It's definitely an advantage. EG are going to be very happy about that fight. They finally were able to crack the AL defenses. But if you're AL, you're not out of this yet. Your windrunner getting very close to a Hex. Bleak, not, like I said, not too far away from his next damage item, whatever that might be. Of course, at this point, you really need to save for buyback. Shatan, no real item progression on him. Snoopy, Arcane Blake, he's about as big as he's going to get. One thing EG really is going for them is overall, while they don't have the hardest carry in the game, their supporting cast scales a bit better. Darkseer, Invoker, they're always going to be useful in the late game. Same with that Enigma. We saw it yesterday in the Quantic MTW series. A late game Enigma is a terrifying force. Not only for the black... Oh man, look at maelk. No BKB on him, but he does have a Heart of Terras. 12 armor. One of the tankiest heroes in the game. 700 more health than the Void, in fact. He is big. And like I said, you know, the supporting cast being... Oh man, Demon Hex too. EG, they got a lot of items off the back of that fight. And while this is happening, Fear picks off the Lich. Not the biggest pick, but Musica would be the real prize. Going for the TP out. Looks like he should get away. No! The long range cold snap into the Hex, the vacuum in. And AL seem to be crumbling here under the pressure. Buyback still up on the Windrunner. Only the Lich is truly lost for the next 30 seconds or so. But that buys EG some more time, and they're not done just yet. AL, no vision up at the moment. And EG, they're charging in. Fear really wants to find an additional pick. No, they're going to go mid, look to push out all the lanes. So I guess they're giving up hopes of getting another pick just for the moment. I can't believe this is only game 1. Already 45 minutes in, but it feels like this game just started. So much action just happening in the last 10-15 minutes or so. What a fantastic start to the series. And Fear, he's going to work on the range Rex. Not a big loss for AL if they give this up, but the bigger loss will be if they let EG rotate top and have that high ground position, which EG are going to do right now. It's going to be a lot harder for AL to initiate. They're going to have better vision, and their team overall very tanky. The positioning will be key here. Bulba, Universe, maelk all need to be in the backlines. Demon and Fear up front. They get the tier 3 without any resistance. And it looks like the Necro is popped, not amounting to a whole lot. Just trying to stave off this push. Faceless Void, where is he? Bleak hiding in the trees. I don't think he was spotted. This could be a big opportunity for him if he can find an opening. A 2 or 3 man Chronosphere. EG, how many heroes of buyback? Invoker, he's got it. Bulba, and yeah, it's not a cooldown. Riki just has it from the looks of it. I think he'll have just enough. So 2 heroes with buyback. If AL can get a team wipe, that would be a disaster for EG. But if you're EG, you don't have to force the fight. You already got the tier 3. The racks are exposed. All you need to do is wait for that next Roshan, farm up your next set of items, and like I said, the supporting cast, they scale pretty well. And once you get those items, you maybe go for the next Roshan. You're going to have the better map control because of this middle lane being pushed in. The creep equilibrium will be on your side, and that means it's not going to be as easy for AL to win a Roshan fight. And a second sight device for EG. This is how you deal with the Faceless Void. When that BKB's down, if the Chronosphere is down, he's going to be useless with these 2 sights device up. Even if he goes for Butterfly, which right now he's not too close to. I mean, he's close, but considering he's got to save for buyback, he's not just there yet. The Hex will actually remove his evasion, from the butterfly. So he'll only have the backtrack to work with, which means he will be a lot easier to take out. Big fight. Hex on the blink to start vacuuming into the wall. Not the best cloud, but it might be enough. Demonic purge on the blink. Will he go down? He's dropping low. Tornado. So much CC. But Chronosphere goes off on maelk first. No black hole. Chain Frost on the maelk. The void backs off, and EG is just too tanky right now. Godot will be the next victim. Vacuum in. I say the next, actually is the first to die. Shackle on 2 for Musica, but without the Chronosphere, what can they really do? Well, they can maybe pick up Universe. That's for sure. Bulba, nice defensive ice wall there. And the fight not over yet. AL looking to continue the chase, but you just can't chase through an ice wall. It's like if you're in a high-speed car escape, you drop a bunch of nails out of the trunk. They're not gonna be able to follow you. And so EG, they have a moment here to reset, reposition. Yasha up on the Riki. Not the biggest items at this point of the game, but it seems to be enough thanks to Bulba, as well as the Darkseer played by Demon, really assist him in these fights. Bleak, no Chronosphere. He's threatening to go in, but without the BKB, without the Chronosphere, what can he really do? Snoopy blinks in, completely out of position. Miscommunication from AL. Vacuum onto the low ground. Snoopy will go down. No, he buyback immediately from Snoopy. But another victory for EG, who seem to really be controlling this tempo and getting the better picks here in the late game, thanks to their hardy supporting cast. It wasn't a bad chrono by the Void, but ultimately, because he got initiated upon, he had to time walk away. If he had got that chrono off first, I think that fight would have gone a lot differently. So you have to credit EG, the Hex, the Vacuum, the Blink, the Cloud, all these spells being used in unison to start that fight off. It gave them the edge, and they're not done just yet. They're going to continue pressuring the top lane. AL is forced to rotate towards mid. What they can do is slowly look to siege up these towers. Oh, Shackle Shot onto 2. Onto Demon and maelk. Will they go in? Boy, time walks in. Does he have the Chronosphere? He does, but he's hexed up. The Roar of the Vacuum back in. Where's that Chrono? We need our Chrono. If you're AL, you need it right now. Black Hole cancels it. Doesn't cancel it, but makes it useless. Great Black Hole from maelk. And the Fissure. Well, in fact, Darkseer will go down, but not before Bleak. Hexed up again. Bulba. The double hex just too strong for this faceless Void. Fear cleaning up buybacks left and right, but no buyback on the Earthshaker. I believe the second set of racks will fall, especially without this Chronosphere, without the BKB. Gem up on Bleak. He wants to go in on Fear, but if he gets picked off, that's going to be lights out. Shackle on 2. On to Fear. Does Fear have the buyback? He does. Should expect to see a buyback immediately. No, he's not just yet. And Universe on the back foot. He's looking to retreat out Bulba. He wants the racks. He gets the racks at the cost of his own life. Not a bad trade. He doesn't have buyback, but with Fear having it, they should be okay. EG, great trades from them in this stage of the game. I have to say they're looking very, very strong here. For a moment, it looked like AL controlled this game, but EG, they seized control back from AL. They ripped it away, and now it's EG poised to take game 1 of the series. Up 2 racks. AL not entirely out of it, but definitely on the back foot. And I think we're seeing, one of the downsides to running a lineup that really only has one great late game hero in that Void. Yes, Earthshaker, Windrunner, Beastmaster, strong supporting cast, but just not as strong as Shadow Demon, Enigma, Darkseer, Invoker. A lot of eggs in that Void basket, and I guess the basket just wasn't sturdy enough to go with that analogy a bit further. Either way, looks like they're going to go for Roshan, and hey, this is one way to try and turn the game around. No cheese just yet. But it would be an Aegis on the Bleak, and we've seen him get picked off before. Still, even if you have an Aegis on this Void, yes, it's nice if you get caught out of position, but if you're forced to pop the Aegis, you're only going to get one BKB and Chronosphere in a big team fight, whether you have an Aegis or not. So it's not as game-breaking as it would be on another carry. Power Shot scouting things out, and I'm going to try one more time to see if...
Immortality.
Apparently godz cannot reconnect to this game. So it's just me the rest of the way, guys, but don't worry, he'll be back for game number 2. Bit of a power outage there, unfortunate. I know he's been having some issues, but either way, it's all about EG versus L. No, he's reconnected. Tornado to start it off on Bleak, EMP to follow, Hex up on Bleak. Bleak does have the Aegis, even if he goes down, and lifesteal now. Blinking from Snoopy, Echo on 2, not the best, but a nice Fissure on 3. What a Fissure by Snoopy. Will be enough, the Aegis is down. Fear still has his BKB, but he gets roared. Where is that Chrono? Where is that Chrono? Vacuum. Chrono on 2. He's going on to Fear. Fear will go down. I think Fear is the buyback. I can't actually tell right now. Oh, goes on to Bulba. Bulba 4-step away. Bleak getting absolutely kited in this fight. Shackle not going to latch. Only the Riki dead in exchange for 2 supports and a Chronosphere and an Aegis. Another good fight for EG. Another vacuum from Demon, who is just not afraid of this void. Manning up. He hexes him up. The 4-step away from Bleak. Bleak all the way out. Cold step onto Bleak. Shackle not going to latch on maelk. They're going to make a go here on the windrunner, and I think this might be Musica's last stand. He eats the hex. I'm not sure if that... No, it wasn't a purge. The purge coming off cooldown, but it's not going to matter. Definitely blast. Going to finish the kill along with Universe. And finally, EG... Another big fight going their way. The Aegis cleaned up. The Chronosphere cooldown. The BKB down to 5 seconds and cooling down. The Black Hole available. No mana at the moment. They could look to go high ground and finally finish this game. Are they going to do it is the question. No buyback on that Riki. He actually completed a Manta style before that fight. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It is, I mean, look at the lead for the Radiant. It's really not that big considering they're up 2 right? Oh, Bleak, he makes it go a Demon, but this might be the bait of the century. No, they're afraid of that Chrono, and it's actually not up. I think they could have killed off the Void there, but they're very afraid. There's the BKB to work with. If these other heroes are in position, can be some counter initiation. But at this point for AL, it's going to be very hard for them to get that. Sunstrike, didn't see where that one was dropped. Oh, I think he was making a go for Shatan, actually. But Shatan makes it back to the fountain. He will be okay. Point of the game for a team in EG's position where you baited out the Aegis. There's no Roshan to deal with for 7 minutes here now. And mid and top racks are down. You can let these lanes push, sit, perch to top the high ground here. Send in the Eidolons, maybe even go for a vacuum wall if you can catch a couple enemy heroes, and siege up this tower. The Manta Illusion as well from Riki. The Forge Spirits. They don't have to fully commit to this push. They can slowly but surely gain the advantage and chip away at this tower. And if you're AL, what do? At some point, you just got to jump in. And Snoopy, what a time for a mouse issue. We're going to have a bit of a pause. Okay, let's check item progressions here. It's a level 2 Diffusal Blade now for Riki, as well as the Manta style, which I mentioned. maelk is massive, man. I love these late game enigmas we've been seeing. First it was MTW, now it's EG. Just enigmas getting outrageously big. Oh, it's so fun to see. And they can't kill him. The last fight, the Void went on to maelk. He just didn't have the damage to do it. Maybe this is that time of the game where you start to think about a Divine Rapier, a sort of all or nothing. I mean, if Void gets a Rapier, it's not going to matter if maelk is a heart. He's going to easily kill off any hero he wants to in that Chronosphere. As long as he doesn't, as long as that hero doesn't get disrupted, as long as they're not Demonic Purge on him, he's going to have no trouble picking those heroes off. For now, I suppose buyback is the first priority, and it's just off cooldown. But at some point, you got to go big or go home, and if you're EG, you're slowly but surely pressuring these lanes. And AL are the ones who are likely to be caught out of position because they have to counter push top and mid. They're not going to be all grouped up, whereas EG, they can group up wherever they want. Fear on the high ground, looking to set something up. Is there any detection? Blink into the vacuum! Oh, what a play! The Black Hole actually not hitting. Lich Ult instantly canceling it. BKB on Blink, he's going on to Fear. The Chrono on 3. What a Chrono, actually on 4. Locking Fear in place. They bring Fear down. Will it be enough? Echo Slam as well in the wall. The Universe survives. maelk will not. Who's got buyback? Nothing on maelk. The Surge away. The Shadow Demon gets picked up. Bleak's not done yet. He wants Bulba. Deafening Blast. Shackle to follow. Power Shot. Oh boy, Bulba's going to get picked off here. Not going to escape. 4 for nothing. And the lanes are pushed. And the pause from Bleak. Okay, time to check those buybacks again. Nobody with buyback on EG. 45 seconds to push down all mid. There is a tier 2 up. They can maybe even look to go top. That, I have to say, if you're EG, you can't do that without buyback. That's just too risky. But that being said, a 4-man Chrono. He popped the BKB first. He waited to drop the Chrono. Great patience by Bleak. A bit of mispositioning from EG. That blink in vacuum by the Dark Seer, it looks strong. I mentioned that that Mouse had run it in the West qualifiers. Not sure if Demon was watching those games, but the late game blink could have been the solution to their problems. In the end, though, the Chronosphere just too strong of a counter initiation. And I'm not sure if this is a strategy pause, but Shatan is disconnected for the moment. if there were ever a time to try and take a strategy pause, this is probably it, right? If you're AL. Oh, man. They might be trying to figure out who is buyback, if that's truly what they're doing. Pretty important thing to try and tell. And Demon, not sure he's happy about that. So, gold graph. It's 7,500, sounds like a decent lead, but look at the total gold earned. This is less than 10%, or around 10%. Not a big differential. XP, it's big, but look at AL. Everyone's pretty much got their level 3 ult, except for Snoopy. That would be a nice pickup, but it's not essential. I mean, those last levels, they give you a little bit of extra stats, but you're not going to get a game-changing ability upgrade. And that's really the main thing right now. Aside from that, if we take a look at items, I mean, I mentioned the lifesteal in the void. He's got 5k now. Oh man, Bleak is farmed out of his mind. I said rapier. I throw it out there. For now, it's going to be all about this push mid, and of course, you want to save for the buyback. But hey, AL in the past, I don't know if anybody's. There was a game they played where they had, I think it was Bleak on the Mirana. They had a pretty big lead, definitely were not down Rex like this, but they went for a rapier after securing an Aegis for Bleak. He died, he lost the Aegis, he died again, the rapier dropped, and a stand-in for the team, who was playing Earthshaker, picked up the rapier and escaped. It was a narrowly averted disaster, but of course, on a bigger stage like this, it takes a lot more balls to do it here than it does in some online match. This is Dreamhack, baby. This ain't an online tournament. This is serious business. And guys, if you're just tuning in, if you're trying to figure out what's going on, this is game 1 of a best out of 3. EG, they got up 2 sets of racks for a while in the early game. EG was winning. They gained some map control. They got some pickoffs. Then AL sort of surged back. They got some farm time. They were turtling effectively. Finally, EG said, F it. We're just going to get more aggressive and force a fight. They won a big team fight on the back of a really nice black hole, a very patient black hole, as well as a great ultimate by the Darkseer, vacuum into an Iron Shell. It was a massive wombo combo, and with that fight, they secured a mid-melee Rex. Eventually, they got the range Rex as well, and the top Rex down with that lead. The second Aegis went the way of AL, and now we're waiting for that ever-so-crucial third Roshan to respawn. Aegis and Cheese will be the prize to be claimed when it respawns. If you're really just tuning in, AL just won a big team fight, and then they immediately paused the game. Nobody on EG is buyback, so that is where we are at the moment. Look at the farm on Bleak, 461 CS. This is why a lot of Faceless Void players, a lot of those hard carries, they love their Battlefield, man. Look at all the creeps he secured. And it really makes up for his number of deaths. 6 and 5, compare that to Fear, 16 and 5. But if we look at the actual gold per minute, I guarantee you it's going to favor Bleak. 531 to 359. And EG, they have way more towers. They also have the Rex as well. But it's all about the creeps. As well as the Roshans, going the way of L, time after time. I am sure there will be rumblings about the dire advantage if AL end up coming back in this game. Because let's be honest, if they didn't have those Roshans to work with, this game would have been over a long time ago. But hey, EG will have their crack at it in game number 2. Fair is fair. Another thing to consider is, in terms of items for Bleak, this is a point in the game where rather than get another damage item, you just might be better off rebuying your BKB. For anyone who's not familiar with that, every time I say this, there is some confusion about what it means. You don't just buy the recipe. You sell the full item, and then you buy a new one, and you get your 10-second duration. That additional 5 seconds of BKB. The only answer that EG really has for it is the Black Hole. Demonic Purge will help a lot, slowing the movement speed of the Void. But that being said, it's not a full solution. Enigma's ult, if he can land it, is a full solution. I keep a look at the AL heroes. I want to look at the EG ones, but they're all dead. I feel like the ghosts should be... You should see the ghosts here, you know? And they should wave at you, or... You know, it'd be cool if they're like an audience, right? And they're expressing emotions as the fights go on. If their team gets a bunch of kills, they start cheering, and you know, maybe even have a bench, like a sporting event. I don't know. I think it would be a lot of fun. Valve, you should consider that. Just saying. If you want any more big ideas, I'm your man. Oh, this pause. The suspense is killing me. Also, my voice is really taking a beating here. I'm gonna grab a cough drop real quick. I had one eye on the monitor every second of the way. Do not want to miss these first moments after the unpause. I mentioned it at the very beginning of the pause. Let me mention it again. All of the lanes are actually pretty good for AL. If they want, I think the best bet, maybe leave one here to try and keep mid pushed out and send everyone top, because look how much farther top is pushed. Also, there's no tier 2 there. I believe that's going to be your best bet. If someone has a smoke, Lich does. This is the time to pop it for that extra movement speed. Charge up to the top lane. That being said, AL very low in terms of mana and HP, the mech cooling down. We'll have to see what they go for. How bold will they be? Demon secures a haste. He's gonna head bottom and look to keep this lane pushed in. Try to keep the pressure up. Nope. Actually, he's gonna TP out. AL all grouped up mid. Perhaps they are going to go for the tier 2. And actually, top lane was not quite as pushed as I thought, because there are mega creeps. Or, not mega creeps, but larger. Oh, they're called mega. They're not really mega, but the bigger creeps are there. So I suppose mid is a bit faster. They're going to get the tier 2. Don't think they're going to have time to get the tier 3, however. Even if they get the tier 3 tower, can they actually go for Rex? A TP back from Darkseer. Demon, crucially, no wall on him. 12 seconds to go. No glyph. They're going to lose the tower. I think they're going to lose melee Rex as well. Oh, focus fire on the Rex. The Rex will drop. Purge on the Bleak. Hex on the Bleak. 4-staff away. And he's taking a beating at the moment. 4-staff in. He time walks out. He should survive. Demon, he's not done yet. He really wants to fight this. But it's a dangerous chase. So AL, they strike back. They get the mid-Rex. They still down the set of on top. The chase relentlessly continuing. Shun strike by Bulba. I think just a sign of his frustration there. They were so close to respawning in time to get some pickoffs, but just not enough. I see a lot of people saying this game is over. Maelk ruining dreams. The game is not over, guys. If you haven't watched the late game like this, anything can happen. And EG, they have an amazing late game lineup. So please, 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 don't be saying the game's over for either team. It's just not true. One mistake with positioning, and this game can completely turn around. And again, it's still EG with the lead. They have 2 sets of X to 1. For EG, positioning is going to be the key the second time around. They were very bold, charging up the mid-ramp, trying to swing top. And I expect this time they're going to play it a bit safer, slow roll it. They're sieging up the bottom lane. Bulba actually lacerating himself. I feel like you're better off doing that on the Riki Manta Illusions or maybe the Forge Spirits. You don't really want to have your hero plinky away at the tower. That's a dangerous position to be in. Because this top Rax is down, it gives an opening for EG. If they want to, if at any point they want to jump bottom and there's a hero top, even if he TPs bottom, even if he runs bottom, that's going to be a moment where he's not available for that fight. And as I say that, look at Bleak. He's secured another life for himself, picked up a Satanic, and Void a great hero to have at this point of the game, especially the Battle Fury. So good at keeping those waves pushed out. Musica, mind your positioning, my friend. A little bit dangerous for him. Fissure, just to try and slow down the creep wave. AL do have a lot of... Oh, Bleak, he's back in. On the 4-staff away. It's a delicate dance. It really is. Just one slight misstep by any hero, and this fight could be all over. And with the game one, Bleak wants to make a go. The Chrono only hitting Bulba. What a great disruption to start. And Bleak, he gets nothing. EG, this is a big opportunity for them. Tornado on one. They're not done yet. Shackle into Bulba. BKB is popped. He's going to work. Roar. Black hole on two. What a black hole. Lich hole bouncing through. Will it be enough? Not sure just yet. And Bleak, he's slowly getting kited out, man. I think he already popped a Satanic. Yeah, he already used it. No, he just used it now. He's healing back up, but he's getting Malefice. So tanky is Bleak. They get Musica in the backlines. Vacuum it. Everyone melts. What an Echo Slam. Not enough, though. Bleak gonna go down. Triple kill for Demon. 5 heroes dead. They all buy back, or at least everyone who can. Windrunner's got it if she needs it. Lich has it. Even the Lich? No, no Lich. No Lich for this fight. Not the biggest deal. Oh, the patience of EG in that fight. And the position as well. I saw some flames towards maelk, but hey, his position was fantastic in that fight. And Demon, that tanky frontline presence, they just can't bring him down. He's so maneuverable, he's so survivable. And ultimately that wall, it's not just about the damage it does, it's also about the way it zones off the map. But here we go. Fear gets a shackle. Immediate purge, Hex as well. Bleak is the one in trouble. 4-stepped out. BKB is used. They can back off, wait for this to end. But during that time, the Chronosphere is cooling down. Meanwhile, the throne under siege. But the fight is what I'm sure most people want to watch. As I say that, the throne, it's getting low. They're going to have to back. I feel like this is game. One way or another, EG is either going to get Rax or throne, and then it's just going to be almost impossible for AL to get any kind of push. Shackle onto Fear. Try to delay the inevitable. A TP in by the Earthshaker. Sunstrike. Lich hole bouncing around. It's bouncing quite well, in fact. Disruption. Demon in some trouble. BKB from Fear. He's going on the offensive. Cleaning up Snoopy. Cleaving his way through him. Shackle onto Demon, not gonna latch, but the throne, it's getting low, it's gonna go down to the creeps, and the creeps, the MVP of this game, it will die, and it will not be able to defend this. It's so very low. Kill the catapults if you can, but indeed they can't. EG take game one. Wow, what a game. Fantastic game one. Oh boy. That was a thriller. And my voice is leaving me. That's going to do it for game one, guys. EG take it in one of the most exciting matches of this Dreamhack, if not the most exciting. Thank you all very much for joining me and Godz. He had some internet issues. He'll be back, but for now, that's going to do it for this game. Game one goes the way of EG. They lead the series 1-0. One more game needed to advance to those semifinals. For AL, they've got a steep hill to climb now. But if anyone can do it, it probably is this band from Australia. So stay tuned, guys. Game two coming your way.